स्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे शम्भुमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवह्निनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयश्च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we are continuing with Suvarna Stuthi of Adi Shankaracharya. It so happened that yesterday was a very special day for worshippers of Shiva. Yesterday was the day of Annabhishekam, the Purnima day on Aipashi, the Tamil month of Aipashi. And simultaneously it became Kartik Purnima for those who follow lunar calendar. So yesterday was a very, very special day. We are now continuing with Suvarnamala Stuti, Shloka number 13. Audasyam sputayati vishayeshu digambarata chaiva tavaiva vibho samba sada shiva shambho shankara sharanam me tava sharanayugam tavaiva digambarata. Digambarata means being without any dress. Dik ambaraha, having only the directions as dress. Ambara means dress. That means wearing no dress. Now that kind of situation, digambarata, not wearing any dress, tavayeva, only for you. It is not suitable for anyone else. There may be other devatas, but this suits only you. Why? Vishayeshu audasyam sputayati. It shows, it makes it very clear. Sputayati means makes it very clear. When gold is put in fire and cleaned, that is called sputikaranam, sputayati. So it makes it very clear. Your digambarata makes it very clear. What is made clear? Vishayeshu audasyam. Vishayeshu. Vishaya generally refers to mundane matters, mundane objects, worldly objects. Anything which takes us away from Parabrahman is Vishaya. Vishayam Vishamiva. Adi Shankara says in another shloka, Vishaya should be treated like poison. Then only you can approach Parabrahman with Ekagrata. So that is Vishaya. So in those mundane matters and objects, it shows audasyam. Audasyam means indifferent. Your Digambara state makes clear your indifference to mundane objects. And that suits only you. That applies only to you. Tavayeva vibho. You are all pervading. You are present everywhere, omnipresent. You are omnipresent, but still only directions are your dress, and that suits only you because your indifference to worldly objects is well known. Now, in Kumara Sambhavam is a work of Kalidasa, the famous poet, Sanskrit poet Kalidasa. He has written Raghuvamsham, he has written Kumara Sambhavam, two great epics. He has written other epics also. Now, in Kumara Sambhavam, there is a scene where Shiva takes the form of an old man and goes for testing the devotion of Parvati who is doing tapas. Parvati is doing tapas, young girl of 5 in Himalayas. Now Shiva goes there in the form of an old man and then he goes and inquires, What are you doing? And then I'm doing tapas. What for? For attaining Shiva as my husband. Then Shiva says, Shiva, this old man, ridicule Shiva as much as possible. He uses all kinds of very insulting terms against Shiva. He has no money for purchasing a dress. His place of residence is Mashana, and he wears snakes as ornaments. How can you go and live with him? Is it possible? Now, like this, he goes in a torrential way of words, torrent of words. Now, in reply, what Parvati said, two shlokas of Parvati are very important in this context. This Audasyam Vishayeshu Sputayati, that is borne out by those two shlokas. Parvati says, Akinchana san prabhavasya sampadam trilokanasaha pidrusadma gocharaha. She is addressing that old man. She doesn't know he is Shiva. He says about Shiva, though you are saying he is Akinchana, he is poor, his very form shows poverty, he has no riches. But Prabhavasta Sampadam, he is the source of all wealth. You must be knowing that though he looks like that, poor, he is the source of all wealth. All wealth comes from him. Prabhavasta Sampadam. Trilokanathaha Pitrusadma Gocharaha. You said he is Smashanavasi. He lives in Smashana. Pitrusadma Gocharaha. He lives in Smashana, graveyard. But Trilokanathaha, he is the head of all the three worlds. The upper worlds, the nether world, the earth, all the three belong to him. He is the Lord of all the three worlds. Then why would he go and live in Smashana? That must be some special reason for it. Sabhima Shivayutyudhirgyate. Sabhima he may look very terrible, but actually he is the most auspicious. That is why he is called Shiva. Shivayatyudhirgyate nasanti athartya vidapinakinaham. That Pinaki, who has Pinaka as his bow, Yatharthya Vidaha Nasanti. Nobody knows his truth. If you know the truth, you will not be talking to me like this. You would have gone and merged with him. Because you have not merged with him, you are still a human being. That shows you have not understood him, you have not known him, you don't know the truth, his truth. विभूषणोद्भासि पिनद्दभोगि वा गजाजिनालम्बिदुकूलधारि वा. She continues in the same line. विभूषणोद्भासि पिनद्दभोगि वा. You are saying he has no ornaments. His snakes are ornaments. Pinadda va. Yes, his snakes are ornaments, but he is shining. He is shining like as if he is having ornaments. Gajajanalam vidukula. You are saying he is wearing elephant skin as his dress. Gajajanalam, when he is not Digambara, he wears the elephant skin as his. Is this the proper dress? Whether he wears the elephant skin or whether he wears a silk dress, Dukuladhariva, whether he is laden with ornaments or whether he is wearing snakes, Kapaliva Syat Athivendu Shekharam, whether he is Kapali, wearing Kapalas as his necklace, Brahma Kapalas or his necklace, maybe, or Athava Indu Shekharam, whether he is having moon, a beautiful moon on his head, whether this or that. Navishwamurtehe avadharyate vapuhu. Because whatever she said, there are also forms where he is having beautiful ornaments at the time of marriage, where he is wearing silk dress, where he is wearing moon as the ornament that is permanently with him. So the alternatives which she mentioned are all there. So she says, Navishwamurtehe avadharyate vapuhu. He is Vishwamurti. His very form is this universe. And for him to establish that this is his body, for you to establish that this is his body, is it possible? When the whole universe is his form, Na Vishwamurtehe avadharyate vapuhu. So this is what it is. So the greatness of Shiva is brought out by Parvati in these two shlokas. And that is this is the greatness brought in substance here. Audasyam Sputayati. Bhajagovindam, another famous work of Shankara, there also he says the same thing. Yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha. Whether a person is immersed in yoga, yoga means samadhi state, or bhogarato va, whether he is immersed in worldly pleasures, whether he is having human company, or he is all alone, sangavihinaha, yasya brahmani ramate chittam, nandati nandati nandatyeva, whether he is having people around him, whether he is enjoying worldly pleasures, it does not matter as long as his mind is immersed in Brahman, Parabrahman. Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam Ramate. He is enjoying, he is reveling. He is reveling in the company of Parabrahman. Nandati, Nandati, Nandati. Because he is reveling in the company of Parabrahman, he does not need any other external pleasure. Nandati, Nandati. Three times he says. His Ananda is something which you cannot understand. Nandati, Nandati, Nandatyeva. And when it comes to sannyasis, those who have renounced all worldly matters, they wear only saffron dress, they wear a danda, they have no possessions, they don't expect anything. That is sannyasa. Now, even there is a class of sannyasis called avadhutas who have dropped their dress also. They have dropped their dress also. This is the philosophy behind this. That is what he is saying, Digambara. So this Digambara is covering all these situations. Audasyam sputayati vishayeshu Digambara tavaiva vibho Samba sada shiva shambho shankara Sharanam me tava charnayugam ho Sada Shiva accompanied by Amba, O form of auspiciousness, O destroyer of auspiciousness, may your twin feet be my refuge. Next, antಃkarana vishuddhim bhaktim cha tvayi satim pradehi vibho samba sada shiva shambho shankara sharanam me tava charana yugam pradehi vibho. Oh vibho, pradehi, give it to me. This is a straight prayer. The others were descriptions, stotras. But here, there is a straightforward prayer. Pradehi, please give me what he wants. Antಃkarana vishuddhim tvayi bhaktim cha sati. Tvayi sati. First is the two things he is asking. One is antakarana, the mind, etc. What is the skin, the mouth? Five Bhashya Karanas are there, which we are using for experiencing the world, for getting experience from outside. We need these five Bhashya Karanas, external sense organs. Similarly, there are internal sense organs, Antahkarana, as opposed to Bhashya Karana. Now, they are divided into four categories as per Shastras. One is Manas, mind, we all know it. Mind, there is no organ. In fact, none of these four has got any organ. If you dissect the body, there is nothing like mind, there is nothing like intellect, there is nothing like ahankara, there is nothing like chitta. These are the four. Now, first, mind. Mind is nothing but thoughts. And what are the type of thought? Shastra categorizes these thoughts into two again. That is whether to do this or whether to do that. Sankalpa Vikalpa, whether to do a particular, whether to take a particular type of action A, or whether it should be action B. This is the investigation which is being done by the mind, which is done a class of thought. Then there is a second class of all our thoughts only. There is a second class of thoughts that is called intellect, buddhi. Now, what does that do? That decides out of the two A, B, or many, maybe A, B, C, D, out of the many options, which option is correct, which option is good for us, which option corresponds to Shastra, Dharma, etc. That only intellect can decide. Intellect weighs all the options, then says, no, don't do all that, do this. So, determining faculty, that is buddhi. That is the second group of thoughts. Now, there is a third group of thought called chitta. Now, that is the one which really is important in creating trouble because chitta is consisting of impressions in the mind which we carry from so many of our earlier janmas, so many of our earlier births. Those impressions are there, latent impressions are there. Now, on the top of it, during this particular birth, we have acquired a lot of knowledge, lot of impressions. This particular birth. In addition to the old impressions, we have the impressions and knowledge collected during this birth. Now, this intellect, buddhi, draws upon chitta when it decides whether it is option A or option B. How to decide? How to know what is dharma, what is adharma? So that is there in chitta. Chitta, somebody has told us that somebody has told us that impression, our parents have told, or our teacher has told, or we have read from books, or we have got it from some discourse. This is dharma, this is not dharma. So that is there, that impression is there in our. So buddhi refers to like a dictionary, like a reference book. That is chitta. But the trouble is, chitta does not always tell you the right thing because it is carried away by so many impressions of the past janma. There is a lot of kama, krodha, etc. hidden there. So when you decide, it is likely that you are misled by chitta. So intellect has to be very, very clear, very, very careful in deciding, weighing various information which comes from chitta. Then the fourth one is the basis of all these three, asankara, that is ego, I, the sense of I. It is very difficult to understand this concept because that is the basic one, and we are all part of that. We have been part of that for so many janmas. It's very difficult for us how to understand this I, and how to drop that I. Because jnanis only have dropped that I. Others cannot drop that I. I is a faculty of distinction of the self from others. I am different from others. That is the ahankara. Ahankara does not mean arrogance, the normal sense in which it is used. That comes from chitta. This ahankara is somebody else. Then only I have my chitta, my impression, not somebody else's impression. My intellect, my deciding faculty, my manas, my thoughts of options. Anyway, now all this has to be purified. That is what we have now come to. Antakarana Vishuddhim. Because Adi Shankara repeatedly says that if you want to proceed towards Parabrahman, if you want to go near Parabrahman, first requirement is Chitta Shuddhi. He uses the word Chitta Shuddhi because Chitta is the storehouse of all impression. Now, once that is purified, automatically Manas, Buddhi, even Ahankara will be taken care of. So that is why he uses the term, advisedly he uses the term Chitta Shuddhi. Here he uses the more broader term, Antakarana Vishuddhi, purifying this four Antakaranas. Then, having purified, next step is developing bhakti towards Shiva. Tvaji satim bhaktim. Tvaji sati means you only exist. The word is sati here means you only exist. You see, he is emphasizing that the world does not exist, he only exists. Our entire attention is towards the world. So he says, don't spend all your time, don't spend all your attention on the world. Use the world only for vyavahara purpose, for conducting your affairs of the world, not for anything else. That is why he says, Toyi Satim, when you are present, ever present, you are the only one ever present, then I should develop bhakti towards you, devotion towards you. What is bhakti? Bhakti is extraordinary love, affection. If you are away from that particular person, you feel extremely miserable. That is the definition of bhakti. So that kind of love, affection, single pointed attention is what he is asking for. Now, once you have got bhakti, you will automatically get jnana. That is why he is not mentioning jnana here. But jnana is required for getting moksha. Moksha is our ultimate goal. So, in order to get moksha, you need jnana. You don't need antakarana vishuddhi, you don't need bhakti, you need jnana. Antakarana vishuddhi and bhakti are steps for attaining jnana. Why he is not mentioning that? Because one, you have reached the ultimate stage in bhakti. That is what Shankara has said in many of his works. In Shivananda Lahari, for example, he says, what is the distinction between bhakti and jnana? There is no distinction. The ultimate stage of bhakti is jnana. He has established it in several shlokas in Shivananda Lahari. So, once you go on advancing on the path of bhakti, your jnana is assured. So there is no need to separately mention that. That is why he is not mentioning that. In Viveka Chudamani, one of his very famous Prakarana Granthas, he has written, Shankara has written a lot of Prakarana Granthas to explain Vedantic principles. So one of the very important ones is Viveka Chudamani. There he says he is defining bhakti. Now, once the definition is understood, then we have understood why he is not mentioning jnana. He says bhakti is jnana. He says that moksha sasana samagriyam bhaktire vagariyate. Out of several methods of attaining moksha, bhakti is the most superior. Bhakti is the best. Bhaktireva gariyate. Why? Swaswaroopanusandhanam kiritya vidhiyate. That is called bhakti, he says, which the definition of bhakti here is very different from in Shivananda Lahari and in other books. Because those books are talking about bhakti as we understand at a slightly lower level. Now here he is talking about, because this is Viveka Chodamani, he is talking about Brahmajnana. So he has gone to Brahmajnana level. He says, Swaswarupa Anusandhanam is bhakti. That is, repeatedly meditating on your real nature, your real form, Swaswarupa. Repeatedly meditating on your one's real nature is bhakti, he says. Now he does not say, go to temple, perform archana to Shiva, that is bhakti. He is not saying, because those stages are crossed. Those stages are crossed. Now you have come to a stage where you don't need external object for understanding where is Shiva. Shiva is inside you, in your heart. So you are Shiva. So you should understand your own form as Shiva. Understanding one's own form, one's own reality as Shiva is bhakti. So once you have understood that kind of bhakti, because bhakti in its highest level, if you read Bhakti literature, Bhakti, in fact, if you read even the stories of great bhaktas, they see Bhagavan everywhere. They don't distinguish between a good man, a bad man, animal and a man. They don't distinguish because they see Bhagavan everywhere. There is a story of a son who ran after a dog because he saw Parameshwara in dog carrying a piece of bread, chapati. There is a story behind that. So everywhere they see Parameshwara, that is jnana. What is jnana there? Everywhere if you see Parameshwara in all creation, that is jnana. So the ultimate bhakti is jnana. So he says that once you have reached that stage, you will automatically come to a stage where you will meditate on your own form as Shiva. So, Samba Sadashiva, Shambho Shankara, Sharanam Metava, Charanayugam. Antakarana Vishuddhim Bhaktim Chatvavi Satim Pradehi Vibho Samba Sadashiva Shambho Shankara Charanam Metava Charanayugam. Next. अस्तोपाधि समस्त व्यस्तैः रूपैर्जगन्मयोऽसि विभो सांब सदा शिव शंभो शंकर शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम्. Now, just now we were referring to Bhagavan being present everywhere. The ultimate stage of bhakti also means you see nothing but Bhagavan everywhere. That is what we said just now. The same thing is being mentioned in this shloka. अस्तोपाधि समस्त व्यस्तैरूपैः जगन्मयोऽसि विभो विभो जगन्मयः असि. You are this world, this universe. You are this universe. He is not saying you are. You have entered this universe. The Upanishad says you have entered the universe. In fact, here he says you are the universe. You are the form of this universe. Jaganmayaha asi. You are Jagat. Now, he is explaining that further. Astopadhi, though you don't have any upadhi of your own, asta upadhi, because Jagat is defined by upadhi, whereas Parabrahman is not defined by upadhi, free from upadhi. So when Parabrahman is Jagat, there is a contradiction, isn't it? Parabrahman is free from upadhi, Jagat is full of upadhi. What is upadhi? Upadhi is quality, attribute, because Jagat is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. These are the three qualities which define Jagat, which define all creation. All creation are composed of these three attributes, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Whereas Parabrahman is devoid of these three, Gunatita. He has gone beyond these three. So there is a contradiction. If you take Upadhi as a limitation, Upadhi has got several types of interpretations. If you interpret it as limitation, what is limitation for Jagat? Jagat has got a limitation of time and space. No object can remain at two places at one time, and no object can remain permanently here, isn't it? Or at all times. No, it's not possible. So time and space are our limitation during in this creation. Whereas time and space in all places. There is no limitation. So there is no limitation. There are no attributes. So he is free from this asta upadhi. Even then, samasta vestaihi rupaihi jaganmayaha. See, you are in the form of this jagat. How? Rupaihi, you have taken various forms. All 84 lakhs of yoni creations have been created, isn't it? In this universe, 84 lakhs. Now, so many forms. Now he says samasta vestaihi rupaihi. That means vesta means individual, samasta means collective. Individually, if you count, there are 84 lakhs of yoni, and inside each jati, each yoni, there are several human beings are not same. There are several categories again. So like that, animals, lions, tiger, maybe. So that is Vesta. Samasta is creation together as a whole. If you take together, because that is how creation process starts. If you see how Brahma starts his creation, as soon as he comes into being, he starts with the concept of Mahat. Then he starts with the concept of Ahankara. These are the concepts. These are only concepts, philosophies from where he starts. So if you then he establishes what is called a Virat Purusha. That Virat Purusha is the Samasta actually. Purusha, which if you imagine the entire creation person, as one person, he is Virat Purusha. So that is only a conglomeration of the parts. It is not a self-existing entity. It is not a self-existing entity. If you define it as a self-existing entity, then it will become different from the parts. No, it is not different from parts because parts are also complete in themselves. That is the beauty in it. The parts, the individual creations, were also complete in themselves. Each is a form of Parabrahma, and the whole is also a form of Parabrahma. So that is the beauty of this creation. That is what he says there. So it is the function of all the parts, but the eight part is Purnamada, Purnavidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Avashishyate. That is the sense of that Upanishad sense is brought out here. Even if you take a part from the whole remains the same, and the part is also a whole. So samasta vestaihi. Vestas are also samasta. Samasta is also, though it consists of vestas, it is the same. Rupaihi, because these are all illusions, maya. That is why Jaganmaya Asi. So now we were talking about upadhis. Now the same thing which we are saying has been mentioned in another work of Shankara in a different form, very beautifully. He says, for us to understand more clearly, he says, Asti bhati priyam rupam, naima chetyamsa panchakam, adyatrayam brahma rupam, jagadrupam tatodvayam. To distinguish between Brahma and Jagat, he says there are three qualities which define Brahman. Asti, Bhati, Priyam. These are the three qualities. Asti means existence. It only exists. Nothing else exists. Bhati, it shines because it is full of. This is Sati, Chitri, Ananda, what we say. It is the same thing, put in different words. Because it is full of knowledge, full of jnana. It shines because the entire world is shining because of the knowledge of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the one provider of that knowledge. So Bhati, Priyam, he is the very source of Ananda. He is source of happiness. Without him, there is no happiness, there is no Ananda. So Sati, Chiti, Ananda. So Asti, Bhati, Priyam. These are the characteristics of Parabrahman. Now, what are the characteristics of Jagat? Rupam, Namachet, Amsa Panchakam, Rupam, Namam. Nama Rupa, name and form. All creations in this universe are defined by a name and a form, isn't it? Without name and form, you cannot understand any aspect of creation. Any aspect of creation, for you to understand, you have to first tell me what is its name and what is its form. Then only I will understand, isn't it? So the definition is Rupa and Nama. So he says, Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam. The first three are Brahman. Asti Bhati Priyam. Jagadrupam Tatodvayam. The rest of the two are, that is Rupa and Nama, or Jagat. In a book called Drik Drishya Viveka, he giving this shloka. So this is the definition of this. Though these Rupa and Nama appear different from Asti, Bhati and Priyam, they are not different. They are the same. Only thing is they appear different. So this Rupa and Nama are only illusory appearances. That is what we have to conclude ultimately. So, but these are the descriptions of the previous stages. अस्तोपाधितमस्तव्यस्तैरूपैर्जगन्मयोऽसि विभो साम्ब सदा शिव शम्भो शङ्कर शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम् नेक्स्ट् करुणावरुणालयमयि दासौ दासस्तवोचितो न हि भो साम्ब सदा शिव शम्भो शङ्कर शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम्. Here again, a direct prayer. It's like the previous one. Karuna Varunalaya, you are the ocean of compassion, not a small pond or lake. Abode of Varuna, Varunalaya means ocean. Ocean of Karuna, you are ocean of compassion. Then when you are ocean of compassion, and I am your slave, Mayi Dasa, I am your Dasa, I am your slave, I have no other protector. Slave means what? Slave does not mean what we normally understand. So that is the way the world has twisted all meanings. Normally, we understand there is a master and a slave, and the master is a very cruel fellow. He ill treats the slave, and the slave is suffering. That is our understanding of master and slave. That is not what is meant here actually. Dasa is a slave who has voluntarily become a slave of the master here, isn't it? Sharanagata. So, Magi Dasa, the Dasa Bhava, like Hanuman was a Dasa of Rama, Rama Dasa, like that. Magi Dasa, I am your Dasa, I am your Dasa, and you are full of compassion. You are known to be full of compassion. You are an ocean of compassion. Tava Udasaha, na Uchitaha. If you are indifferent to me, it is not suitable. It doesn't suit you. Tava Udasaha, Udasastava, Uchito, na, it is not Uchita. It is not suitable. How can you be indifferent to me? Because you are ocean of compassion and I am a slave. I have subjected myself to your authority completely, 100%. Then only it applies. That shows clearly when he is advisedly using the term dasa. If you have become a dasa, there is nothing to worry. Bhagavan will take care of you. The trouble is we are not becoming dasas. That is the thing. Now, same idea is given in Shivananda Lahari. उपेक्षा नो चेत् किं न हरति भवध्यानविमुखां दुराशा भूयिष्ठां विधिलिपिमशक्तो यदि भवान् शिरस्तद्वैधात्रं ननु खलु सुवृत्तं पशुपते कसंवानिर्यत्नं करनखमुखेनैव लुलितम्. If you are not indifferent to me, upeksha no chet kim na harati bhavadhyana vimukham durasha bhujishtham. My mind is full of evil desires. My mind is full of evil desires, and I am totally indifferent to meditating on you. Bhavadhyana vimukham. Meditating on you is unknown to me. That is my condition. So, if you are really not indifferent to me, will you allow this state? Will you allow your slave to be like this? Totally not meditating on you, but totally developing desires toward the world. Durasa bhujishtham. You may say that is what Brahma has written on my head. Yes, that is true. Vidilipim ashakta yadi bhavan. If you are not able to erase what Brahma has written, and because I have surrendered to you, you are still indifferent to me, I cannot accept it because you may say Brahma's lipi cannot be changed. That is not true because you went and with the edge of your naksa, with the edge of your nails of your hand, you plucked one of his 5 heads. He became a person of 4 heads now. So that is how you treated Brahma when he told a lie. You plucked one of his head. So how can you not erase Brahma's lipi on my forehead and then create bhakti in you? And this durasha bhuyushtam, that condition can you not change? That is the question. Very beautifully put in Shivananda. The same thing here. Karuna varunalaye mayidasa udataha tava uchitaha. Nahi, it is not suitable for you. It doesn't suit you. Now, here we should know what is Sharanagati, because every shloka we are saying Sharanam me tava Charana yoga. What is Sharanagati? Because Dasa he says, because my Sharanagati is complete, then only he is calling himself Dasa. Now, the Sharanagati has got 6 aspects according to Shastras. Now, if you look at the 6 aspects, then the meaning of Sharanagati becomes clear. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam. Whatever Bhagavan likes, we should do only that. That is my sankalpa. This is the first condition. My sankalpa is whatever will be approved by Bhagavan, I will do only that. Do means all the 3 karanas. Mano, vacha, kaya. All the 3 karanas, I will do whatever actions which are only pleasing to Bhagavan. What is pleasing to Bhagavan? Vedas and Shastras. If you follow Vedas and Shastras, they are the rules laid down by Bhagavan. He is happy. Pratikuljasya varjanam. Completely avoiding what he does not like. Because that has to be specified. Because you may do all that he likes, you may also do what he does not like in between. So that is not acceptable. That's not Sharanagati. Sharanagati means you should do only what he likes, what is specified in Vedas and Shastras, and you should completely avoid what he has prohibited in Vedas and Shastras. That is pratikula for him. Rakshishyati divishwasaha. That is the third condition. You only will protect me. Nobody else is going to protect me. That kind of deep faith that is required. Goptrutva Varanam Tatha. Fourth is you have developed this faith, but you have to go and tell Bhagavan. There is a interesting stage here. Why, what is the necessity of telling him? He is there anyway in our Antakarana. So if I have decided that he is only going to protect me, he knows that he is going to. No, it's not like that. Knowing and telling, there is a difference. If you know, you may change your knowledge tomorrow. If somebody comes and poisons your mind, he may say, hey, what Bhagavan? He is not going to do anything. Look at this. What happened to you yesterday? You are placing so much of faith in Bhagavan. What did Bhagavan do to you yesterday? Somebody will come and tell you, and then you will be carried away. But once you have told him, told him, you have assured. You have Goptrutva Varanam, like a girl chooses a boy. That is Varanam, Vara, Vadhu, Vara. So like that, you have chosen him as your protector. Gopta means protector. Once you have chosen him as a protector, just as a girl cannot run away from marriage after choosing the Vara. Similarly, she has chosen him as Gopta. You cannot go away from him. Atma Nikshepa. The last two stages are most difficult. Atma Nikshepa, placing yourself entirely at his disposal. You erase your identity completely. A different entity. Bhagavan. If you think like that, you are not done your Atmanikshepa completely. You have to do Atmanikshepa completely, that is surrendering and placing yourself at the disposal. You will become a non-entity and you will become a Kripana. Karpanya means poverty. Here, poverty does not mean secular, worldly poverty. Here, it means mental poverty. That means you don't exist as a separate entity. You have become completely Dainya Bhava is Karpanya. You are completely dependent on your master. You have no other protection. So that is the final stage. These are the six stages of Sharanagati. So he says, I have done all this and I am your dasa. How can you be indifferent to me? Karuna Varunalayamahidasa Udasastavocito Nahi Bho Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Mekava Charanayugam. Next. Thalasahavasam Vigataya Ghataya Satameva Sangamani Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Mekava Charanayugam. In the last sloka's explanation, we were saying, when we were talking about Goptritva Varanam. At that time, we were saying somebody can come and dissuade us, isn't it? There is as long as we are living in this world as a human being, we are surrounded by other people. They are not like us. Every person is different from every other person. So there is always a possibility of getting dissuaded, getting on the wrong path. That is what he is saying. Khala sahavasam vighataya. Please do not put me in the company of khalas, evil people. Khala means evil people. Rogues. Never put me in the company of rogue. Khala sahavasam vighataya. Vighataya means avoid. Don't do this. Not doing is vigataya. Don't put me in the sahavasam. Don't put me in the company of evil people. Ghataya satame vasangam anisham. Anisham means always. No exception. At all times. Day and night. 24 by 7. Sadameva sangam. Only company of good people. Company of virtuous people. But people who are devoted to Bhagavan. Only such people should be my company. I should not get the company of evil people even for a minute. That is the Anisham. That is the prayer here. As all of us know, this is very important. Bhagavan makes it clear. how satsangam can lead nissangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve nishchalatatvam nishchalatatve jivan mukti. Right at the jivan mukti, that is, you are liberated even while possessing this body, even while living in this world. You are a mukta, jivan mukti. You can attain that state if you start with satsanga. Satsangatve, if you have satsanga, then what will happen? Nissangatvam, it will create detachment from worldly objects, worldly matters. Now, here satsanga should be understood properly. Satsanga does not mean always being in the company of a particular person who is called virtuous or something like that. If you read Ramayana, if you read Viveka Chudamani, that is also satsanga, because you are in the company of that book, of the great thoughts of that author. So that is also satsanga. If you go to a temple, that is also satsanga, because you are in the company of Bhagavan's Vigraha there. Similarly, if you are attending a discourse, you are in the company of great thoughts. If you are attending a bhajan, you are in company of great stotras. So all this is part of satsanga only. So he says, if you develop this habit, you will develop detachment from this world. Once you have developed it, a detachment, nissangatve, nirmohatvam, the delusion will go from you. Because we are all deluded. We think we are very fickle. Our minds are very fickle. Something comes to us and we get attracted. Something happens to us, we feel very miserable. This attraction, this misery, all this moha, delusion. They are all temporary. They will arise today, they will go tomorrow. But we don't take it like that. So that is moha. So that stage will go once you have developed a detachment, because attachment is the cause of all the delusion. So once you detach yourself, your delusion also will go. Once your delusion is gone, nirmohatve nishchalatatvam, once the delusion is gone, you are sure of Bhagavan. Nishchalatatvam. There is nothing else which is your focus. Nischala means staying forever, not mobile. Chala means mobile. Nischala means permanent. Staying at one place, focused completely. Your focus will be completely on Bhagavan. Nischala Tattvam. Bhagavan is not a figure. Tattvam, your focus is on the truth. Nischala Tattve Jivan Mukti. Once your focus is on Bhagavan's truth, you attain Mukti. What is there? What else is there next? Nothing else. So, the satsanga is very important. Now, Viveka Chudamani also mentions this in a different way. Let us understand that also. दुर्लभं त्रयमेवैतत् दैवानुग्ररहेतुकं मनुष्यत्वं मुमुक्षुत्वं महापुरुषसंश्रयः. These three, त्रयमेव एतत्, these three are difficult to get. Durlabham. These three are difficult to get. And you will get only if Bhagavan blesses you. Daivanugraha hetukam. Only if Bhagavan gives you anugraha, you will get these three. What are those three? Manushyatvam, to be born as a human being. Not only being born as a human being, to be also, not only being born as a human being, to be also full of human virtues. That is Manushyatvam. Not being an evil person, being a virtuous person. That is Manushyatvam. First of all, to get birth as a human being, then to develop all those virtues, you need Bhagavan Anugraha. Then that is not enough. Manushyatvam, mumukshutvam, you should develop a desire for moksha. You should not develop a desire only for worldly objects. You should develop detachment, just now we saw, detachment from worldly objects and attachment to moksha, that is mokshutvam. Purusha samshrayaha. Now this mukshatvam can really develop, can really take a shape only when you are in the shade of a guru. Mahapurusha samshrayaha, taking refuge under a Mahapurusha, taking samshrayaha, taking refuge. He is your refuge. Like we are saying here, Saranam Metava Charana Yugam. So like that we should go and tell a guru and we should take refuge under him, Mahapurusha. Well, it need not be a guru, it can be a friend. A friend also can be a guru. An animal can be a guru. For Avadhuta, Dattatreya, there were 24 gurus who are all from nature, even birds and other things. But that is at the highest level of jnana. For ordinary people, that is not applicable. That doesn't work. So, Mahapurusha should be interpreted as a guru only for ordinary people. So he says, if these three are there, then only you can proceed towards moksha. And these three will come to you only when Bhagavan graces. So we have to look for Bhagavan's grace. Khala Sakhavasam Vighataye Ghataye Satameva Sangamani Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Sankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam Garalam Jagadupakritaye Gilitam Bhavata Samosti Kotra Vibho Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Sankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam. Now this sloka is for, it's a real stotra in praise of Shiva. Because when you are saying you have surrendered yourself, to whom you have surrendered? You have surrendered to somebody who is intent on helping you, isn't it? Who is Karuna Varunalaya, we said, that is why. He is full of compassion. So that is being emphasized once again. How? By quoting his Vishapana. Garalam is poison. Garalam Gilitam, Gilitam means swallowed. You swallowed the poison. Jagat Upakritaye, for helping the world. Upakritaye Upakara, for helping the world, for helping the creation. You went and swallowed the poison. Bhavata Samosti Gotra Vibho Atra Kaha. Here, who is there here? Equal to you. Bhavata Samaha. Equal to you. Who is there, Asti? Is there anyone who is equal to you? Hey Vibho. So, this poison, swallowing a Kalakuta poison or Hala poison, is the greatest upakara which Bhagavan has done to the creation. This is hailed as the greatest upakara, greatest service, greatest help done by Shiva, which nobody else can do, nobody else has done. There are a few great achievements of Shiva which are always quoted in Shastras. One is this Ushapana, second is Ganga Dharana, that is carrying Ganga in his head. In fact, it is coming in next shloka itself. And the third is Tripura Samhara, because these three, nobody else can do. Nobody else can do these three, and he went and did this only for Jagat Upakritaye. Now, this Ushapana is being eulogized in all texts. There is not a single Shastra which does not mention this. All Puranas mention it, not just Shiva Purana. Shiva Purana, of course, has to mention. Skanda Purana has to mention. But other Puranas also mention. Every text mentions this as very, very great thing. Now let us look at Srimad Bhagavata, because that is a Vishnu Purana, isn't it? That is dedicated to the glory of Vishnu. There, when this happened, when the Kalakota poison came from during Samudra Manthana, what did the Devas do? That is described beautifully. Vilokyatam Devavaram Trilokya Bhavaya Devyadhimatam Munina Asira Madra Vapagargaheto Tapojushanam Sutibhif Pranemuhu. They were looking for somebody who can help. Naturally, isn't it? When you are in a very terrible condition, you will look for help around you. They looked around, they saw Shiva. How did they see Shiva? The beautiful sloka describing how they saw Shiva. Vilokyatam Devavaram, the greatest Deva they saw. Trilokya Bhavaya. He is there only for the auspiciousness of all the three worlds. His very presence is there only for the auspiciousness, for helping the three worlds. Devyabhimatam Muninam. He is not just alone, he is also with Devi, so that his compassion is all the greater now. When he is with Devi, when he is accompanied by Devi, his compassion is all the greater. Abhimatam Muninam. He is worshipped by Munis. He is hailed by Munis. Asinamadrau apavargaheto tapojushanam sutibhipranemuhu. Asinamadrau. He was sitting on top of Himalayas in Kailasa mountain. There they went and saw him. Apavarga hetoho tapojushanam. He is always in tapas. He is always in yoga. For what? Apavarga hetoho, for the moksha of his creation. Look at this. For the moksha, apavarga means moksha. For the moksha of the created world, he is doing tapas. In fact, we should be the ones to do tapas, isn't it? For our moksha. For our moksha, he is doing tapas. So, who is the greatest benefactor? Apavargaheto tapodushanam stutibhiv pranemuhu. They went and prostrated to him and they chanted a very big stotra is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Let us look at the first few lines. Deva Deva Mahadeva Bhutatman Bhuta Bhavana Trahina Sharana Pannan Trailokya Dahanat Vishat. This poison is burning all the three worlds. We are at your mercy. We have taken refuge in you. Sharana Pannan. So you are the protector of all the worlds. Bhuta Bhavana. You are not just a protector sitting somewhere. Bhuta Atman. You are the world. You are entered the world. So you should help us. Tameka sarva jagata ishvaro bandha mokshayoho. Tam tvam archanti kusalaha prapannarti haranguram. Shastras, great people, great munis, hail you as the Lord of all the three worlds. Ekaha, you are the only one. Bandha mokshayoho ishvaraha. You are the Ishvara for bandha and moksha, for bondage and liberation of all the worlds. You are the Lord. Tam tvam archanti kusalaha prapannarti haram gurum kusalaha. Those who know, those who are efficient, they address you like this. They praise you like this. They worship you like this. They say you are Prapannartihara and Guru. You are the Guru. You are the Kshanamurti. You are the teacher. And not only that, Prapanna Artihara. If somebody takes refuge in you, you will immediately remove his misery. Prapanna Artihara. So he says, Tantvam Archanti Kusalaha Prapanna Artiharam Gurum. So this is how Bhagavan is praised by Devas when even in Srimad Bhagavatam, where the Samudra Manthana, this Kalakota Panam, that situation arises. Garalam Jagad Upakritaye Gilitam Bhavata Samosti Kotra Vibho Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Sankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam. Actually, this Prapannarti Haram reminds me of another similar nama is there for Bhagavan. Pranatartihar. There is a song, Bhagavan Baba Bhagavad Vigraha in one of the temples in Tamil Nadu. He is known as Pranata Artiharan. One Pranata means one who worships. One who worships, for him he removes the misery. Here Prapanna Artiharan means one who takes complete refuge, one who surrenders. There it was worship, here it is surrender. More than that. Prapanna Artihara. So we close for the day. It's time now. If there are any questions, let us see.
Those who have questions, please unmute yourself, turn on your video, and please ask questions. Any questions, anybody? No questions, Guruji.
No, okay. We close for the day. We meet again next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. EST, and we continue with Suvarna Mala Stuthi of Adi Shankara. Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Namasankirtanam Govinda Govinda Shri Rajarajeshwari Jaya Jaya